Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TML, the Masters League, as we are here, of course, for Social Race number 2, as we take in the Belgian Grand Prix from the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking to the stream, as always, on a Thursday night. Hopefully more successful than last week, of course, due to a power surge. I couldn't cover the second half of the stream, which is unfortunate. Joining me in the comment box, though, as you can probably tell on your screen, that LRE Storm is actually racing tonight. So joining me in the comment box, it is Ivan Tonchik. Ivan, how you doing?
Good evening to you, James, and to everyone on the stream. Yeah, replacing Storm tonight in the comment box, and Storm replacing me on track. Well, it's the race around Spa. Personally, my favorite track, one of my favorites in the F1 calendar. Really good grid, so let's head into it.
Let's head into it. Indeed, we've got a full complement of drivers, 20 of them, going to be taking the course on the 7-kilometre circuit of the Belgian Grand Prix. And let's have a look then at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. 7 kilometres and then 4.3 mile, 19 turns, awaiting our drivers out on track. Of course, 2 DRS zones, one down towards La Source at turn number 1, and then one down the Camel Straight in towards turn number 5. Of course, shaped like a dinosaur, and a pretty good track to obviously drive around and to obviously commentate around with, as well, as we've had our fair share of really good races in the past, including 5 safety cars back in TML or TTML F5 back in the day, which myself and Daniel Hoggard, of course, covered the action. I think it was in Season 5, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully, none of that tonight as we go, of course, in towards short qualifying. We better get going, of course, in short qualifying. But Ivan, obviously, it is the Belgian Grand Prix. It is, of course, going to be on the calendar as well going forward in TML this season. How do the drivers tackle Belgium? Because I've commentated around Belgium already on this game, and honestly, it is an absolute dream to drive.
Well, it certainly is. I can certainly agree to that. How do drivers tackle Belgium? Well, I mean, they can attack curbs a little bit more compared to the last game, because the curbs cannot spin you off that easily as they could on F1 2021. But again, this track is a classic track which does not forgive mistakes, or it does forgive, but on some really rare places. Yeah, our drivers need to watch out for many tricky corners and traps. But let's see how that will go.
Yeah, let's indeed see, as we've got the first cars out on track, and it is simply Superman, the first man out on track, of course. F2 Constructors Champion last season alongside Yona. They have, however, split apart in tonight's social race. Yona is in the AlphaTauri, and simply Superman is in the fabled Aston Martin, of course, where he won that championship, that Constructors Championship, alongside Yona last season. The Irishman has had good form in the past, drove very well last week in the first social race in TML. How do you expect him to get on tonight, Ivan?
You're simply Superman, right?
Yep, simply Superman.
Yeah, well, I followed some races of F2 last season, and yeah, I know him and Yona were classes of the field last season, but I will expect he will live up to the challenge of the last season and to fight for the title again, despite this game being quite a bit different. But really, we cannot tell anything. This is like a pre-season, and pre-season and season is not the same. But yeah, I cannot really predict how things will go. But just looking from the last season, I predict simply Superman will fight for the title once again.
Yeah, I think it was runner-up, in fact, in TTML F2 last season. Jon's already left the session. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in, though. But we'll go on board with Simply Superman on board this lap at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps on the run down towards turn number 1 at La Source. And the Aston Martin, of course, normally going to be around a second slow, I think, in terms of lap times compared to what we saw previously on the last game, hugging the curb on the outside of La Source at turn number 1. And now on the run down and towards the fabled section out on track. That's a Rouge, and that's Radion, actually, coming through turn number 3, and then through the right hand of turn number 4, down the Camel Straight, Dutch corner on the left hand side for Jonas support definitely in this social race as Superman comes down into the first sector, 29.6, exactly where you want to be in the first sector. Through there, and now comes down in toward Lecom through turns 5 and 6, through turn 7, and then down in towards Bruxelles at turn number 8, and then of course in towards Malmedy at turn number 9, and we'll see what Simply Superman can do as he comes now through Bruxelles, in through Malmedy at turn number 9, and then on the run down and towards Puon at turn number 10. Hugging the Esports line, the first time I've ever seen that on this game. It's still possible on F122 as he flies through Puon at 170 mile an hour on the run through, down in towards the Panya chicane at turns 12 and 13, and then in towards the end of the middle sector, of course, as we come towards Campus Corner, and then in towards Stavilo at turn 14 and 15, and then pretty much all the way run up as Atlas Copel was already tied through turn 1. So he's obviously spun the car through there, but Simply Superman 14.7 in the middle sector. Very good middle sector once again. The white line pretty much running alongside the track there. We can now come through in towards one of the fastest corners on the F1 calendar. It is Blanchimont on the run up now in towards the bus stop chicane. It's had many variations in its time, of course, but in its current variation, this is turns 18 and 19. Through the final corner then with Simply Superman, and on the run to the line, it should be a 142, I think, to start off the night from Simply Superman on the run to the line, and it indeed is a 42.8 to start off the night. That's a very quick lap, I've got to say, just to start us off.
Yeah, really quick lap as Tam and Cam meanwhile set the times of 143.343 for Tam and 143.648 for Cam. Currently in P2 and P3 as Nick Houston jumps both of them with 143.119. The times really are starting to get quicker now.
Yeah, Johan has joined the session, luckily, which is very good. Nick Houston, as you say, going second there. He showed glimpses of real promise in TTML F2 last season. Of course, now TML, possibly F2, possibly F1, who knows what Nick Houston can do. FBR Darrow, though, on the run to the line, he goes second as well, 43 flat, of course, an F1 driver last season in TTML. Simply Superman out on top, Darrow second, Nick Houston there in third, Tam there going fourth, as well as Honey Badger going fifth, so not a bad lap time at all. Blackson validated his lap, he's just got onto another one though, coming through a Radion and on the run down the Kemmel straight. Nipro as well is coming into the final couple of corners in the Alpine, of course, the pink and the blue Alpine, of course, as got obviously taken over by BWT, and on the run to the line with Nipro and the ERT man goes fourth. Not a bad lap time there at all. The 5 minutes gone in qualifying, and it's Simply Superman out on top. Dara second, Nick Easton third, 42.8 though from Simply Superman, currently holding out on top by 1/10.5 of a second.
Well, meanwhile, also in the bottom end of the field, the two bases in McLaren's, Jamie and Legend, set the times of 143.771 for Legend and 143.933 for double champion in TTML from season 6 and 7. Of course, I'm talking about Jamie, of course, champion in F4 and F5. F4 last season and F5 in season 6. Really showed good pace at certain moments, so he could be a threat potentially in this race.
Yeah, and I think sorry, I cut you off there. Go on.
I just said for some solid points. No worries that Jamie could be a threat.
Yeah, Jamie, obviously, F5 champion, if you say, in Season 6, F4 champion last season in F4, even though he hasn't got the honours on the Discord server, as I mentioned a little bit early on. But Jamie there in 943.9, showing a bit of promise. He's up there with Legend, up there with Cam, of course, F2 driver Cam back in the day. The Brit, of course, running under the New Zealand flag, of course, on this game. 43.6, though, from him in the Haas. QRT Yona, though, I'm interested to see how this man's going to get on, because somebody in the commentary box predicted him for the F2 title last season, and lo and behold, he picked up the F2 title last season. QRT Yona, though, on the run down in towards the Lecom chicane. 29.9 in the first sector. Yona is off the pace by 0.3 of a second early on, and he's gone for a spin coming through turn number 5 and 6. Now, I know he's getting used to no assists on this game, but Yona going for a spin, we have never seen that before. I don't think I've seen that before in commentary, but Yona was found coming through Lecom, and he's not on this lap.
To be fair, I think Yona doesn't like this track at all, because I remember last season, he was also involved with some kind of incident in this in the spa race on this track. I remember because I watched some bits on Twitch when that race was.
I've got short-term memory loss, so I can't really back up that point, to be honest. I'll take your word.
I think it was that was the case, but
I'm now going to have a look at the Discord server and just see what was going on in terms of F2 last season and in terms of Jona's pace. In fact, in Belgium, looking through, where was Belgium? I think it was one of the opening rounds of the season. Yeah, Jona actually led by a point going into that race. Honey Badger's picking the 5th-place grid penalty though for illegal blocking. That is, I think, coming at pit lane exit, if I'm not mistaken. You can see a house on the other side of the track coming through the Kemmel Straight. So he's going to drop down obviously 5 places from where he qualifies. Currently in 6th, that'll move him down to 11th at this stage. Simply Superman though out on top, Dara 2nd, Nick Houston there in 3rd. In terms of the Spa result actually last season around here, and I'm going to get it up now as I found it, Yana took the win, Nathan Clark in 2nd, Jorg there in 3rd. And yeah, Jona, you were right, had a really bad race in Spa. Of course, had a bad race in France as well. Still wrapped up the championship as a result though. And he's down in 15th position, not a lap time on the board so far, but the man on top is about to go for another lap. Simply Superman, 42.8. What can he do? Can he improve on that 42.8? I think it's going to be quite difficult.
Well, his first lap was really good as Yarham retired from the session, so second car retiring after Atlas Coppo retired earlier in the session. Maybe Simply Superman will manage to find something, will manage to pull the ace out of his sleeve, because Chuck is getting quicker and quicker, obviously times going down, so Chuck is ramping up, but it will be very hard.
Yeah, well, looking through the first sector, though, he was slightly down on his time through the first sector, Simply Superman. We're going off board on this lap, as I like to call it, as we now go down on the esports line, down in towards P1 once again on board with him. He's got a low fuel run actually going on this lap from Simply Superman. Dara there has just gone onto a lap as well, along with Nick Gieson, who's 3,000s down in the first sector. But we'll go on board with Simply Superman now, coming through the Fania chicane, the turns 12 and 13, and then in towards Campus Corner, and then in towards Stavelo once again at the end of the middle sector. Daniel has now left the session, hoping he can get back in after multiple invites, and Simply Superman responds. Yeah, 2/10 up in the middle sector, looking to be maybe a mid-142 on this lap as now comes through in towards Blanchimont, the fastest corner on the F1's calendar. Look at that, 202, pretty much not really lifting through the corner from Simply Superman as he now runs in towards the final couple of corners at the bus stop chicane. It's Simply Superman and on top, Dara 2nd, Nick Houston 3rd is the Irishman. Gonna now put it between himself and the rest of the field to the line, 42.5, and that is how you respond from a 42.8. You go 3.5 tenths quicker. Simply Superman out on top, and Ivan, I think that's going to be very difficult to beat.
Well, the bar is certainly high. Yeah, very, very, very hard to beat. As Dara goes wide at the exit of Fania chicane and spins round. Luckily, no bigger accidents after that. Nick Houston pulls in the pit as the Nipro is also slightly up on his time, but he invalidated.
Honey Badger, though, I'm just going above with him. He's purple in the middle sector. 3.5 tenths up is our Honey Badger, and he's looking to go possibly quicker, of course, now in the Lions team, of course, that Conti is obviously famously created in TML this season. And Honey Badger, who was our graphics man, I've afforded the privilege of now being our graphics man for the season. On the run to the line, he goes 3rd, 43 flat, not a bad lap time at all, but he lost 10th in that final sector, and I think that was all because of the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, so he can really improve. So I think he can really improve on that time because that he had massive oversteer moment. So as you said, he can definitely find a 10th, and he could be in contention for a front row start here because I doubt someone will beat Simply Superman. Man's flying.
Yeah, man is flying indeed. Simply Superman out on top. Dara in 2nd. Honey Badger in 3rd. Jona got slipstream, by the way, down the straight. He's just going for another lap now. And he's a 10th down where he was in the first sector on his old lap. And he's just invalidated coming out of the com. So, Jona is not having the greatest session at all. My co-commentator friend, by the way, Ollie Storm, has also gone for a spin. Didn't want to mention that on the stream, just to maybe rub it in himself, to be honest, but he did go for spin coming through turn number 1. He's down in 15th and I haven't got a lap in so far, we could obviously get a lap in as I think Daniel has rejoined the session, which is good to see. Simply Super on the way on top, Dara second, Honey Badger in third. Anybody else on the lap?
Jamie's on the lap and he's purple in middle sector on my screen. Almost 3 tenths up. Going to launch him on.
Yeah, we'll see what the McLaren can do. Coming through Blanchimont, through 17, and then into the final couple of corners at 18 and 19. Currently Simply Superman out on top, Dara second, Honey Badger in third. Well, will Jamie now come in the fold? I think he's going to go maybe ahead of Legend here as he comes out the final corner on the run to the line, and he's just shy, in fact, 43.5. Multiple runs, though, on the set of soft compounded tyres, and I think that's the first driver I've seen do multiple runs on a set of softs.
Well, I didn't see that in a long time. Around Spa, but obviously track is so long, one of the longest in the component, if not the longest, 7 kilometers long, and basically tires are going pretty fast around here. The racing cycles, obviously, it's a very long track, but yeah, well, these more durable tires. New tires compared to 2021 season, and good ones will run some soft tires, I think, at least in TML.
Yeah, 18-inch tyres, of course, on the F1 22 cars in this game, as opposed to, I think there was 14 or 16-inch, if I'm not mistaken, in the last game, so that
Maybe
really
13.
good. How many?
Maybe 13, something around that.
Yeah, but it was something around that. I can't remember the figure off the top of my head. It was something like that. Cam, by the way, I'm on board with him in the house. He's coming through the middle sector. He's 4.5 tenths up in the middle sector. Not purple, though, but I think he could perhaps challenge his teammates here. Honey Badger there in third position, Dara there in second. I think he's aiming to go into that second position with this lap as he now comes through in towards bus stop chicane with 3 minutes to go in the session. Superman, Dara and Honey Badger currently your top 3. Cam on the run to the line. Falls short, goes 5th though, 43.2. I think he'd be very bored with that lap there.
Yeah, but apart from Simply Superman, the field is quite close to each other. From Dara, Honey Badger, Nick Houston, and so on and so on. The differences are not that high for a track, for a 7 kilometers long track. So, because yeah, entertaining race.
Yeah, it's always a close qualifying session around here in Belgium. Tam, hopefully going to be having the time of his the time of his life, I should say, into the bus stop chicane. That's a fun you'll probably get a little bit later on as Tam now comes through the final couple of corners. The Division 3 champion on the run to the line, and he goes third. Good lap time, actually. He was 2,000s down in the middle sector. He was a 10.5 down in the first sector. Tam can put his first and second sectors together. I think he's looking at a 42.7, 42.8. Really good lap by Tam, and I think he can still improve, but will he have the time? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I think that's off, because until the moment he gets to the pits, it will already be a few seconds until the end, and there's no way you complete.
CPI Daniel on the run to the line as we see Daniel running down in towards turn number 1. Nick Houston has retired from the session in the pit lane, so he feels that he's done as well. The Mercedes man, 43.1 at this stage. But Daniel, at this moment in time, on the run up towards Rouge and Radion, and just about gets it through a Rouge and Radion, I've got to say there. Simply Superman out on top, Dara second, Tam there in third. Looking to the chat, by the way, I haven't ignored you. KMHD saying Ivan could call on the race win. That's impossible because he's in the commentary box with me. But Daniel with a 30.1 through the first sector as he just invalidates coming out of the come, which is unfortunate for him. But Simply Superman out on top, Dara there in second, Tam there in third. Other drivers just got onto the lap as well. Ellery Storm has just got onto a lap as well, and he'll be looking to try and put himself in around the midfield, around GMAC, black sort of area. There's a good 6/10 gap for him to try and filter in there with 43.3 or 44.9, I should say. The Storm now comes in through the Camel straight. Simply Superman though out on top, Dara second, Tam in third. Not sure if Ivan is still here. I thought we lost him for a second there. Are you still here, Ivan?
Yeah, I had to mute myself because house noises.
I heard it in the background, don't worry, I covered your back there entirely. Storm though on his lap, he's looking quite quick through the first sector. The Alpine man, normally a little bit slower, but he's looking quite quick on this lap so far.
Simply Superman is up on his time. I read it correctly. Oh, he improved.
No, he's coming through the first sector.
Now.
Oh, he's 2.5 tenths up in the first sector. Wow! Simply Superman is 2.5 tenths up in the first sector. That's mad.
Simply Superman is surely drawing like a Superman today.
Have we got Jarno Opme or somebody racing in his midst tonight? Because this is absolutely insane. He's now on the run down in towards Puon. We'll go back on board with Storm in the meantime. He's coming... Oh, actually, he's invalidated. So we'll go back on board with Simply Superman. He's absolutely charging on this lap. It's his middle sector and his final sector. That could let him down, though, in terms of improvement on time. But we'll see what Simply Superman can do. Now coming through Campos in towards turn 14. And then in towards Stavilo at turn 15. And Simply Superman is on it. And he's 500th down in the middle sector. What on earth has he done in the first sector to be 2.5 tenths up, and then he's 500ths of a second down in the middle sector, and all relies now on this final lap from Simply Superman. He can get a lap in. He could go 42.2, 42.3 without even breaking sweat as the Aston Martin now comes in towards the final couple of corners, on board with him as he runs towards the line. We've got more improvements further down the field. Conti and Neil J have gone 10th and 11th. Simply Superman in the end does not improve. Honey Badger will not improve. He's lost his front wing as well, and he's invalidated his lap. Nipro, 3 tenths up, could try and challenge for second.
Yeah, let's see what Alpine Trier can do. Nipro tackling the bus stop chicane. Well, we used to bus stop chicane, now it's just a chicane. And yeah, P3. P3 for Nipro. 43.037.
Legends on the lap.
Legend is also finishing his lap. Only small improvement. Jamie is also slightly up.
He is. He's around the 10th up, I think, through this final corner, and he's 2.5 tenths up by the end of the line as well. And Jamie goes 8th ahead of his teammate. I think he'd be quite happy, even though he was behind him throughout the session. I think Jamie would be quite happy with that. But Simply Superman, simply insane. 5 tenths of a second. You do not see as big a gap as that around here at Belgium. Simply Superman is out on top. He's nearly 5 tenths through with Dara, as we say. And then Ivan, second down to 6th, is covered by 1/10 of a second. That's how dominant Simply Superman was in that qualifying session.
Simply class of the field for, at least when it comes to qualifying. We'll see what race brings.
Yeah, definitely so. Qualifying is one thing, the race is entirely a different thing, but Simply Superman can put his race together. I think he could be unstoppable here tonight in the Belgian social race. Dara there in second. I think he'd be quite bored, of course. The FEO man, former TTG man, of course, last season in F1. Nitro there in third. His first season, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in TTML, or TML as it's going to be called this season. But we'll run you through the full grid order now, and it's Simply Superman out on top from Dara in second. A huge chasm of a gap from first and second there. Nipro there in third, Tam there in fourth. He'll be bored by his performance. Honey Badger, by the way, is going to be starting all the way down in 10th position. 10th position as a result of a 5-play square penalty for illegal blocking. So that means Nick Houston, Cam, Jamie, Legend, and GMAC will all go above. Honey Badger will then be down in 10th. Daniel in 11th with Conti in 12th. Noah J in 13th. Maze, I should say, in 14th, not Max. Blacks in 15th. Olatex in 16th, Yona 17th, only got a 47.6 on the board in the end. Storm there down in 18th, and Joran Matlas Copel didn't get lap time set in either. Simply Superman though out on top, Dara in second, and of course, Ivan, as a result of the qualifying change in real life, that means all drivers can start on whatever tyre they like.
Yeah, so let's see what strategies will our drivers bring to us for this race?
Yeah,
and as we are still waiting for drivers to get ready.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, I think, in terms of strategy. If it's anything like what I saw last night, it was PSGL Austria I'm trying to think of. That's a totally different strategy. Have a feeling, though, majority of drivers are going to go set of hards or set of mediums, I think, for their first stop. Of course, safety car. Not sure if it's actually on safety car here tonight. It might be, it might not be, who knows. But if it is, then it's going to be quite interesting. But we're going to wait now 5 seconds until we get into the formation lap. Of course, we're on immersive formation lap as well, which means drivers can F it up, to be honest, in terms of the grid positioning out on track. But here is the predicted pit stop strategy immediately. Simply Superman looks like he's on a set of mediums. He's not. The game is juking me in there. He's going on to a set of hard compound tires. Everyone else by Yoram, though, on a set of mediums. The exceptions are Simply Superman and Yoram, who are on a set of hard compound tires. Not really shocked by that strategy call, to be honest.
I didn't do spot on this gameplay, so I cannot really judge the strategies. But I think we should look for Honey Badger in this race with the pace he's shown in qualifying, and also getting demoted to P10. So I think he could make some places up. Also at La Scopo, we didn't see much from him in qualifying, but looking from last season in F4, in which I was his teammate, by the way, he really has some pace these days, so he could maybe gain some place as well.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Down in 20th, he's got Yoram in front of him on a set of hard compounded tires. I think he could make a few positions up. Yona, if he struggles in the race, he could be easy pickings as well for Alascopo down there in 20th. This man here, though, in second position, Dara, on an alternative strategy. He's going set of medium compounded tires at the start. In theory, Ivan, he should be a second clear come the end of the first lap, but he's probably not going to get in his own way, though, off the start.
Well, theory is one thing, and the reality is the another thing. We'll see. Obviously, Dara has the advantage of a softer tire, because he's starting on mediums, obviously, and Simply Superman is starting on hard. But yeah, we don't know anything until lights out in the first corner.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting. Of course, Darren will have the traction off the line on the hard runner ahead of him. Of course, that is Simply Superman ahead. Tom, by the way, in the chat was putting he got a 5-pace grid penalty for blocking at the pit lane exit, which we alluded to in commentary, while I was letting someone through on an out lap. Very nice, and I think he's probably atting the game and Codemasters, I think, for that one. However, though, Ivan, I'm going to come across to you as now the grid forms up manually, I'm going to say, which is a very nice sight to see. Who is your top three as Daniel has left the session?
My top three, Simply Superman, Dara, and I'll go bold and say Honey Badger.
Interesting. Honey Badger from 10th. I'm going to go, as Olatex and Storm have messed up their pit slots. Simply Superman for me for the win. I'm going to go Darren for second, and I'm going to go Nick Houston for third as we now go 5 red lights here in Belgium for social race number 2, and it is lights out, and where we go, and Darren gets a very good start off the line. He's going to try and pull alongside Simply Superman down in towards turn number 1, but Tam absolutely flies around the outside, possibly going for the lead of the race down in towards the source. He's on the outside line of Simply Superman. He's been actually ousted there by Dara, who's on the inside of the line of him, and luckily the ball flying as Maze is round, I think Nipro was the one that is round further down the field, gone for a spin, as Jamie and Noah J, I think, are fighting side by side, coming through a Rouge and Radio, nearly 3 wide, coming through there. Everything is clean through so far, but Simply Superman leading the way. Dara there in second. Tam, though, was attacking Dara in towards Lecom. Doesn't get the move done. Yona, as you say, on the back of Jamie, looking to the inside line. Absolutely flying through the field, making multiple positions as we go along. And there's the Haas gone for a spin on the Ferrari as well. Has been caught up in contact. Noah J is round. The Alfa Romeo in the background is round. Noah J in the wall, I think, as well. That might be a safety car. And it indeed is. It's a safety car out on track. Simply Superman holds the lead. Dara second. Tam in third. It was all clean until they got to Lecom.
Well, I will say it was all clean until they got up to La Source. Yeah, because there was also quite a bit of contacts there. Not big contacts, but minor ones. Typical for La Source. And yeah, then in starting from Rouge and Radillon, it all went to mayhem. All turned to mayhem.
Yeah, it has turned into mayhem indeed, and I think that is just Belgium, I think, coming back, as Honey Badger has said as well. Or Honey Badger is also out of the race, so Honey Badger, I think, has crashed out on track. Luckily, it's a social race. Crashing out on track, of course, is inadvisable in terms of what we're going to be seeing in TML this season. Apparently, he had the sound glitch, so that is probably why he's retired. He's crashed out on track, and that is why he's retired as a result of the sound glitch. Luckily, I don't think we've got that in the commentary box here, and hopefully everyone can hear us okay. But it's Simply Superman out on top, Dara there in second, Tam there in third, who, interestingly, though, is coming in the pit lane.
G-Mac picks, and Tam in front of him, yeah, as you say.
This is going to be interesting. What strategy are they going to go on? Are they going to go both hards until the end of the race, or is it softs?
With hards, I will say. But
Tam,
I don't know.
Tam in, and he goes set of hards. GMAC also in, set of hards. Atlas Copo, Nipro, and Conti are all coming in. I think they've all got front wing damage, though, if I'm not mistaken. Atlas Copo in, set of hards. Conti, front wing change, set of hards. And yeah, Nipro gone for set of hards and front wing change as well. Simply Superman, though, Ivan, holds the lead. Darryl there in second, Nick Houston in third. Oh, my prediction's looking quite good.
Well, Tony Badger retiring and leaving the session, as my prediction also is having 0 chance right now, I think, to get it right. So you might win one. You might win this one, James.
I might do. If you want to be the first prediction I think I've got right of this game, which could be even better, to be honest. But Simply Superman out on top. He had pretty much no real challenge, especially down in towards the Camel Train, down in towards Lake Holm. Simply Superman had no challenge. It was Dara and, I don't know who it was. I think it was Dara and whoever started in third, it was Tam, I think. They were attacking each other down in towards Lake Holm. I'm not sure what happened with Tam. Oh, yeah, Tam came in the pit lane. That's what happened to him. But Tam, they're down in 14. He was fighting a Storm as quick as a 5-second penalty with Daniel. That's interesting.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, I think it was just maybe a bit of a misbreak. Daniel has just taken control of his car, so it might have been because of that. But we'll have to wait and see. Storm, of course, because it's a social race, can't get that 5-second penalty removed. And, of course, the season doesn't start for another month as well. So we're going to be seeing plenty of these social races as we go through. Safety car is going to be out at least one more lap, though, because we've only gone one lap underneath the safety car. Simply Superman out on top, though. Darren second, Nick Houston third. But to come back to my point there, Darren was under attack, obviously, from Tam. He's decided to go bold, go for sort of hard compounded tyres. Is that the right call for Tam?
Well, it's hard to judge for me, but it can be like the best call like he made ever in his league racing career, but it can be the worst easily. It's like a double-edged sword. But yeah, I think it is good call for this for this stage of the race. Use the early safety car to pit and go along on hards and save us at mediums or softs for later on.
And he's back in the pit lane. Tam is back in and Storm is back into the pit lane. As soon as we say that. And then
Storm is out.
Storm has retired in the session. Not sure what happened there. Tam, I think, has got front wing damage. I think he's hit the pit wall. Coming in the pit lane. Front wing changes on. Set of mediums go back on as well for Tam. And Tam is back out of the pit lane in last position, in 17th position. Unfortunate for Tam. And the Division 3 champion, or the F3 champion last season, not really getting off to the best start as he also cuts the white line coming across the pit lane, which will be glossed over because it's a social race.
Yeah, but also, may I add, the biggest gainer on the start, I will say, is obviously Yona. Like, from way back down the grid, he's on pace 6. He's up to pace 6 already. Really good start from Yona.
Yeah, really good start. Of course, he was carving his way through the field, especially because of the amount of contact that we had coming through Lake Holm. Yona, I would say, a little bit fortunate in terms of some of the positions he's gained, but he absolutely nailed it off the start, and that is why he gained, I think, 6 positions before he gained those fellow 5, and he's now up in 6th position from 11, gaining 11 positions from 17th on the grid. Yaron has also gained 10. Olitex has also gained 8 on his TTML debut this season, and he's there in 8th position at this moment in time as well. Safety car, by the way, I think is going to be coming in this lap, so Simply Superman will be the virtual Burt Marlander. Looking through the chat, though, we have got our former head commentator here at TTML, Andy Campbell, who is in the chat saying, "Evening, folks, watching along with the newest member of the TML clan and little Liam, my 9-week-old, looking forward to the new season." Hopefully Liam is not going to be running scared in terms of the commentary that we're providing here tonight. But Simply Superman out on top, Darren there in second, Nick Houston third. Great to have Andy in the chat. Storm as well saying sound glitch is awful, and Daniel's AI decided to break early. That is why he picked up a misplaced penalty and gave him front wing damage, and that's why he's at the race as well. But good to see Andy back in the chat, as it looks like, Ivan, we're going to be getting the safety car at least for one more lap.
Yeah, maybe because Tam pitted and he had to change the wing, and he only caught up to the field now, coming to Blanchimont. So it was too late to pull safety car in.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it in commentary on this game before, though, where as Tam's coming back in the pit lane, he might be to retire the car, I'm not sure. But he is back in the pit lane, he's going to be right down the back of the field. His third pit stop, and if he wins the race from here, I'm not going to promise anything in terms of what I might give him, but Tam, I think, has to obviously try and go like the wind in this race. Maybe going for another safety car in this race as well, but Tam is out into the pit lane, so the whole compound eyes on the car, and he's coming out in the pit lane exit as well. But Simply Superman out on top, down a second, Nick Houston third. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream, hopefully you're enjoying the OBS setup that we've got going on as well here tonight, because we have the track map. We'll show you the calendar a little bit later on as well, and hopefully with the help of Mr. Honeybadger, if he's still watching in the chat, I want some overlays for the season, so if we could get some of them for the rest of the season, I'll be very, very happy indeed. But Simply Superman out on top, down a second, Nick Houston third. I feel like we've been commentating about half an hour, but we're only on lap 4.
Yeah, I have a kind of same feeling, but yeah, I think speaking of Tam's race, I think you could really be careful about what reward will you give to Tam if he wins the race from here on? Because I think you still remember caught a F4 race last season, and Atlas Scope was called to go on softs, and Jim was called to go on softs like in the last 2 laps, and they nearly won the race.
Yeah,
did.
Yeah, do not discount Tam out at all. And in fact, don't discount anybody on the set of hards out at all. I think in terms of this race, G-Mac there in 13th, he showed very good pace, I've got to say, last week in the social race as well. So watch out for him maybe in this race as well. He's down there in 13th at this moment in time. Safety car, though, should be coming in this lap, and it indeed does. Race control says safety car is coming in this lap. And now that means we're going to get back to green flag racing, and that means Simply Superman in the green Aston Martin is going to have us on the safety car restart. He's the virtual Bert Islander, he's the virtual safety car. Dara there in second, Nick Houston there in third, and hopefully Dara is going to be trying to get Simply Superman off the start. Of course, warm tyres now for Simply Superman compared to the start of the race, so that means Dara has got a little bit of work now to possibly try and deliver on the run in towards Blanchimont. But it's a very fast safety car restart, which is good to see. Of course, very safe safety car restart as well. Tam hanging a little bit off the back end, I'm going to say, right at the back, so maybe trying to get a run in towards... Oh, and there's contact between Dara and Simply Superman. Simply Superman puts on the brakes. I think Dara's avoided him, but it looked like there was contact there between the both.
Again, really close.
And Nick Houston and Cam are swapping positions in behind as well. Disastrous safety car restart in the end from Simply Superman. And now Dara is on the run down and towards turn number 1 at the source on him, but he's not going to get him, I don't think, as Jonas right on the back of Nick Houston.
Oh.
Nick Houston as well and Legend are going side by side. There's contact further down the field, and I think Nipro and Atlas Copel have had a collision out the final corner. Olatex and Jamie Miller side by side down a Rouge and Radion. Are they now going to try and back out on each other? They do. Jamie backs out and waits behind Olatex, and he's in 8th position. But here comes Nick Houston on the back of Cam. Legend's trying to get on the back of him as well. Look at the speed that Legend's carrying. The McLaren's surely going to go past the Hats down in toward Lake Holm. Simply Superman is 9/10 clear of Dara, but Cam absolutely centred on the brakes. Great battle that. Cam through, and he's into 4th. Legend hanging on for 5th. Yona on the back in 6th, maybe winning 3 positions out of that, but doesn't come quite to fruition. Cam there in 4th. Brilliant battle between him and Legend.
Yeah, really great battle between those guys. As a yellow flag again, and someone's landing on the field. It's Maze or Daniel. Daniel, yeah.
Yeah, Maze went wide. Daniel has also gone for spin. I think Maze was taking a board in action, if I'm not mistaken. Daniel went for a spin. And the Alpha hits the wall as well, and that's not going to do him any favours at all in terms of this race. Olatex is on the back of Jamie as well, right in the midfield in 7th and 8th position. The McLaren as Yoram has gone for spin just in the background as well, so Yoram is round. Fortunately for him, he's dropping down the field. Tam is already up, by the way, 5 positions off this safety car restart. He's behind Conti and trying to attack him maybe down towards the bus stop chicane. But speaking of attacking, Dara on the back of Simply Superman. Conti is round.
Yep. So Tam didn't even have to fight Conti.
Dara goes deep into the bus stop chicane. Sorry to cut you
Oh,
off there,
Yona.
Ivan. And Nick Houston's have made contact with Dara, and I'm not sure if Dara has actually got a little bit of problem maybe with his wheel or something. Jamie goes past, Olatex goes past, disaster for Dara coming into the bus stop chicane. I'm not sure if that was a connection failure or something. Jamie, I think, has got an illegal overtake on Dara, in fact. Luckily, he let him back through. Madness once again in Belgium. Simply Superman has now got a 2-second lead over Nick Houston second. Cam Merrin third. Dara now, for the sake of my predictions, Nico's retired in the pit lane. Dara, though, has absolutely sailed past Olatex. Coming up the header of Radion, Dara has sailed on by. He's into fifth and he's making up for lost time, the Irishman.
Yeah, so he has himself. Yeah, I think this must be a wheel problem. Or pedals problem. I think the brakes are gone.
It's on the brakes.
Gone.
And he spins
brakes
as well.
Gone, or throttle.
Oh, and have to take avoidance action as well. G-Mac and Tam just do very good avoidance there. But Dara, pedal problems seem to be plaguing him here tonight. He was in second position, going well, and then he locked up into the bus stop chicane, went completely wide. And now he's parking off on the left-hand side of the track once again, letting Conti and Yona through. Dara going from absolute delight to absolute disaster in the space of a lap.
No brakes. I think no brakes, or it's either brakes or throttle pedal. It must be something of that, because you cannot like just go.
I wonder
That's
if
why
it's...
I didn't. No, they're not must have like on.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a bit like Leclerc's problem in real life, where obviously the throttle pedal got stuck down. I wonder if that's the same with Dara. Of course, totally different equipment, I may add, between a Ferrari and obviously the sim racing setup that Dara's got. But Dara will probably have the same problem as Leclerc in Austria as he's left the session. And to be honest, I don't blame him if he's got problems.
Yeah, but it's sensible. Like, I think he tried to bring it to the pits. And AI is bringing it to the pits, and I think Dara is going to the back of the field shortly, and that's it. That's very straightforward. So really, we cannot blame him.
Yeah, it's a real shame for him. He was going very strong, I've got to say, as well.
Jamie's close to Olitex.
He is
Jamie's
indeed.
Close to Olitex, going to the con.
Sails past him down the straight, and I think Tam as well on the back of G-Mac are going to go side by side as well. These two very good rivals, I think, in Division 3, dare I say, with a bit of hesitation last season, these two were fighting out. Tam and G-Mac, 8th and 9th position through. I think Yona's just got ahead of Conti as well. He's through and he's into 11th as well. Tam and G-Mac were in Division 3 last season, weren't they?
Yeah, yes, I managed to witness some of their battles and races.
I was going to say, I thought G-Mac was a brand new driver. It's a good job you're here. F3 extraordinaire commentators from last season. Yona has spun coming through No Name or Malmedy corner, as we like to know that in real life now. And Yona, I think, has now had problems as well. And he resets the track, and he's got right side end plate damage, I think, on the car as well. Or left side end plate damage, in fact, on the car from Yona. Absolute craziness out on track, but it looks like the closest battle once again is between Jamie and Ollie Tex. 5th and 6th position between these two. I've got to say though, Olitex, he had a few fans in the chat a little bit earlier on. Olitex, I think, is doing an absolute brilliant job on his debut here.
Yeah, he really has shown some pace. And by the way, that corner in which Yona had promised, yeah, it is no name corner, but it's called Jackie X now. It's not Malmedy.
It's called Jack what?
Jackie X. That's Jackie X corner.
Jackie X corner. Ah, okay. I will note that in my spreadsheets for PSGL as we go forward, of course, this season and in other leagues as well, I may add. As Olitex is on the back of Jamie, Shooty the Red Bull is on the back of the McLaren. They should be plain sailing. I think the owner might be retiring out of the race into the quick lane as well, but Olitex now closing in on Jamie. Pulls the inside line toward Lecombe. Jamie might just have the late on this, you know. He pulls to the inside on the Olitex and he gets the job done. Through Lecombe, and he's through and he's into 5th. Very nice battle, and I think this is going to rage on, because Jamie is still trying to catch him down and towards Bruxelles, but Olitex through and he's into 5th. They're hemorrhaging time to legend, but they're having a battle, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah, well, we don't really would like to see tactics and mind games around here. It's only social races. You don't get any prize. As we have yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Lecombe, I think it is. Atlas Copo going for spin. Yep.
Yeah, it is. Atlas Copo round coming through the exit of Lake Com, and that's down in towards Bruxelles. So Atlas Copo down in 13th position. Already 6 retirements. GMAC, though, has only picked up the first 3-second penalty of the night, and that's taken us to lap 8 to get to. I thought these guys might have actually been a little bit hesitant, maybe on the 3-second penalty, but GMAC now, with a 3-second penalty, he's down there in 9th position at this stage. But Simply Superman through and still in the lead of the race. He's 1.2 seconds clear of Nick Houston. That gap is holding completely stagnant at this stage. There's another yellow flag, and that's Atlas Copo again. Round coming through the Fania chicane. So Atlas Copo there in 13th. He's going to be down in 14th because Dara's AI has just gone through on him as well. Olatex is going to come under more pressure, I think, from Jamie. He's too far back, I think, Jamie, on the run down through Rouge and Radion. In these cars, of course, underneath the DRS, you can't really gain underneath the DRS. But as soon as I say that, though, Jamie's actually flown up a Rouge and Radion, and he's going to hunt him down there, down the Camel Straight. And you know what? This is going to be easy. Jamie pulls alongside as if he's just been shot out of a cannon, and he's back through and he's into 5th.
Nice.
A Simply Superman holds the lead of the race from Nick Houston in 2nd, Cam there in 3rd, Legend there in 4th, Jamie there in 5th. Obviously getting that overtake done on Olatex. Olatex giving a really good side of himself, I've got to say, there in 6th position. Plenty of support actually from Olatex, Tom Green and Glowstick, who was meant to race actually tonight, in the chat there as well, supporting Olatex and also supporting Tam, who is currently in 8th position as Yona has left the session, and Olatex has a snap of oversteer coming out of Puon.
Nick Houston is catching Simply Superman, meanwhile, if you didn't notice, for the lead.
Simply Superman made a mistake.
I don't know, but Nick Houston is, like, really close to him.
Yeah, gap was 1.2 seconds, and now it is 7/10 of a second. Simply Superman, I think, has realised that, look at the battery he's used up. He's on 19% battery. Nick Houston's on double that, 38%. Coming through the bus stop chicane, he's within DRS range for this lap around. And Nick Houston, you know he likes to pounce around this track. He got a podium here, of course, in TTML this season. Nick Houston on the run down in towards turn number 1 at the source. And he's within 0.5 of a second coming out of the corner. He's going to try and use up a little bit of battery down the hill in towards the Rouge and Radion. If he gets the speed up through here, he could be doing a Jamie on Olatex. He's pulled away now by a second, I've got to add to that battle. And Nick Houston, I think, not close enough down the Camel Straight, and will remain P1 and 2 for Simply Superman and Nick Houston. And Atlas Copo has gone for another spin through the Fania chicane.
Atlas is really having a tough time in this race.
Position change possibly upcoming though. Tam and Blacks are going to be changing positions, I think, here. Tam to the inside line, down the Camel Straight, down into toward Lecom. Blacks alongside him, pulls him on the outside line. Tam gets forced up on the curve, but Tam's through and he's into 7th. Nice move that by Tam. And Nick Houston once again. Simply Superman seems to be struggling in that middle sector. The gap is now 4.5 tenths. Atlas Copo, sorry, that is that's an Alpha, as Aston Martin, I think, round. That is Conti, and he's had contact with Maze. That's an interesting one.
Oh, well, that must be an interesting one. Obviously, one of the crucial people for running this league as well. And Atlas Copo called the day off, and he retired in the pits.
Yeah, interesting one, I think. I'm not sure if they made contact. Looked like though Maze was waiting up for Conti. League director has just caused a collision with a steward. Let's just put that into perspective for TTML going forward.
Welcome to TML.
If anybody new is either driving or watching in this race, yeah, well, that's what we like to see. Legend, though, is into the pit lane. Legend from 4th into the pit lane. Olatex also following in behind in the Red Bull. So Legend now into the pit lane. What will tyres go on? It's a set of hard compounded tyres. I can only think of one more tyre to go on. That's a set of softs, and they can only last 5 or 6 laps around here. So Legend coming out of the pit lane. Olatex also coming out of the pit lane. He's also gone into a set of hard compounded tyres. They're going to be quicker to the end, and do you know what? I think they're going to both come out and clean out as well.
Yeah, as let's see, yeah, Legend came up in cleaner, like way clear of Olatex, and they're both way clear of Maze.
Here they are indeed. Legend there in 8th, Olatex currently in 9th. Both of them, of course, having to weave down the straight because you have to get the tyre temperatures on. And around a track like this, luckily it's 7 kilometres in length, but it takes a good, maybe a quarter, maybe even a half a lap to try and get those tyres up to temperature and up to racing speed. But Nick Houston currently hanging on the back of Simply Superman. I wonder if Nick Houston actually here, Ivan, is going to force the issue on Simply Superman and force Simply Superman to come in the pit lane after him. Because if Nick Houston pits in now, it's an ideal opportunity because Cam is catching in 3rd. I would pit in now if I was Nick Houston. Simply Superman can extend another lap and try and get the overcut rather than the undercut. Because I have a feeling overcut is better than undercut around this track.
Well, certainly the undercut is not that much powerful
No.
like on past games because of tires are not getting heated up that quick. But also I think it's still slightly stronger than the overcut, as Cam pits as well. Cam goes for the undercut, I believe.
Yeah, he will, but he will have very cool tyres at the start of his stint on that set of hard compound tyre that will go on that car
So
in the
Black's
hats.
in I think.
Yeah, Black's also in the pit lane. He's down in 7th. He will go mediums to hards, I would think, as well. Legend, by the way, look where he's coming out. He's behind Cam coming out the pit lane. But Cam obviously has to get up to speed. Legend is going to be catching all the time. And if those tyres do not come on immediately for Cam, Legend could perhaps be on him. But 4.2 seconds, I think, is more than enough gap to play with for Cam.
Yeah, it's a really big gap. It's a really big gap to keep the distance safe for him compared to Legend.
All the tyres.
Nick Houston is really closing in on Simply Superman. I think he might pit this lap, I have a feeling.
Yeah, I have a feeling they might. I was just going to cut in there as well because I was running board with Conti and Blacks. They were having a battle. Blacks now all the way down in 11th position. Conti through and he's into 10th. And that is what 10 lap older hard compound tyres do when you're on a 0 lap set of hard compound tyres. Conti easily breezing past Blacks and he's through and he's into 10th as Olatex has picked up a penalty. And that is coming through, I think, the Fania chicane, if I'm not mistaken, of Campos, one of the 2 corners. Simply Superman, though, is he coming in the pit lane this lap around? No. Nick Houston, no, not coming in the pit lane. Both now, I'm imagining, are going to the softs.
Yeah, but you never know. As we have a yellow flag again, sector 2 and 3.
Maze.
Someone's around. Yarham? Oh, Maze.
Yeah, Maze round coming through Stavilo. And that was just actually before Stavilo. That's at Campus Corner. So Maze there down in 12th position now on that set of 11 lap all medium compound tyres. I think it might be the time now for Maze to come in the pit lane and go for another set of that medium compound tyre. Dara's AI, by the way, still running around in 13th position at this stage. Simply Superman, though, still leading the way. Nick Houston second. Tactical battle, I think, now beginning to develop between these two. Nick Houston, though, is beginning to apply the pressure because he set a purple first sector out of everyone on this lap so far. So Nick Houston is either going to push to come in the pit lane or push to force Simply Superman into a mistake. Which one will it be?
Well, mind games started as right as you say, Maze pits and goes for the set of soft tires and comes out back in 12th place.
He does indeed, and he's coming out on a set of soft compound tyres. In fact, I think Dara's AI is possibly going to be coming out ahead of him in terms of the actual speed coming out the pit lane. Nick Houston, though. Nick Houston, though, really applying the pressure to Simply Superman on the run up the hill in towards Guanchamon once again. He's 5.5 tenths second behind. Simply Superman, 17% battery. Nick Houston on 43% at this stage, and we'll see what the Mercedes man will do. Is he coming in the pit lane in this lap? Simply Superman coming in. Simply Superman forced into the pit lane. So Simply Superman goes in, and G-Mac is just retired, coming out of Stavilo as well. And Simply Superman is into the pit lane. There's the safety car in front of him coming out the pit lane. And that is so fortunate for Simply Superman, but is actually that now going to hinder him or help him? Because Nick Houston is out of the pit lane. He has to stick to the Delta time. Simply Superman will also have to stick to that Delta time. He's on a fresh set of mediums, and he's coming out in second position. Nick Houston's got a big chance of leading this race. Absolutely
Sorry,
huge.
I had to go on mute. House noises again.
Don't worry, Nick Houston, in the lead of the race, hasn't came into the pit lane. Safety car is out after a crash from GMAC coming out of Stavellow at turn 15. So GMAC is out of the race. Nick Houston leads the way in the Belgian Grand Prix. Simply Superman, though, in second. Had the safety car come in front of him coming out of the pit lane. He has to stick to Delta time, as does Nick Houston. Who's this going to benefit more, Ivan? Is this going to benefit Superman more or Nick Houston more?
I think simply Superman, because yeah, he went straight into the pits. He has to stick to the Delta, but also Nick Houston also has to stick to the Delta. So basically, it's really close, but I think it's going to benefit simply Superman more. But that doesn't have to be the case. Nick Houston can also benefit from this. I had similar situation in PHGL Left 13 in Suzuka last season, where safety car got called out, or there was virtual safety car. I'm not sure. It was safety car, and the guy who was in front of me, we were battling for the lead, and he pitted like straight away. Safety car got called, but I decided to stay out, and basically my in-lap was really good, but still I came really close behind that guy. But still I came behind second and didn't manage to jump the guy who was in front of me. But let's see what will happen now as Nick Houston goes for soft tires.
He's going to come out in front of him as well. I think he's going to come out in front of him as well, because Simply Superman's only out of the final corner. Nick Houston's at the end of the pit lane. Inside line helps through the pit lane. Nick Houston gets in front here. He's won the race. Oh, and he's sideways coming out of the pit lane. Nick Houston is ahead of Simply Superman. And he's going to warm up those tyres underneath the safety car on that set of soft compound tyre. Simply Superman on a set of mediums is in second. Cam, by the way, stayed out on his hards there in third. Tam is in fourth.
Jamie also on softs, so we should also watch out for Jamie.
Yeah, is he going to get ahead of Legend, his teammate? No. I don't think he will. Yeah, Legend's through, and he's into fifth. Jamie there in sixth. That is hugely beneficial, though, for Nick Houston. Coming out of the pit lane, in front, on a set of soft compound tyre, he's going to be potentially 2 seconds a lap quicker than Simply Superman at the start of this race. He's going to have those tyres up to temperature. Has Nick Houston just won this race? I think he might have done.
Well, it's not only a little ticket flag, but yeah, I will also agree, because basically his start will hit up quicker than stars of Simple Superman. And also, I think, but the biggest loser here is Cam, who will drop down the field massively with everyone behind him on softs and mediums, everyone until the RM in P10. Who disconnected now, so Cam is really, I think, the biggest loser here.
Yeah, Tam in fourth, Cam as well in third. I think you're trying to say, not true, because Cam and Tam sound very same to me.
Yeah, I said Cam, not Tam.
Yeah, Cam in third. Yeah, set of hard compound tyres, he's done in for, I think. Legend and Jamie are going to be the big gamers, I think, on that set of soft compound tyre. Tam as well could perhaps lose a few positions as well. It all depends, of course, on how this race is approached in the latter stages, but I think there will be 6 laps to go, as if Dara's AI will catch up on the other side of the track, that will mean we get 6 laps of racing at the end. But it is Nick Houston that leads the way. Simply Superman in second, Cam there in third. Johan has managed to join it back in the session, which is good to see. He's back in, he's down in 10th position at this stage. Hopefully, though, he takes control of his car before his AI decides to come in the pit lane. I'm going to watch on board with hesitation, on board with Yaram C, as his AI is catching up. Hopefully, his AI is not going to now dart right coming into the pit lane. Otherwise, he's completely done in for. And no, it doesn't, but Black is into the pit lane, and he's surely going mediums rather than softs.
Well, some interesting tactics here.
Just waiting, so Yoram has managed to rejoin, by the way, down the straight, down in towards turn 1. It's down in 9th position. Black's going for a fresh set of soft compound tyres. May's doing exactly the same. going for a fresh to the softs, and Dara's AI, of course, still in 12th position, right down the back of the field. That is an AI car, isn't he? Or has he rejoined? I think he might have rejoined, actually.
Yeah, Dara rejoined, I think. Looks like it.
Well, judging by his final corner approach that he's just taken, he has. Dara has managed to rejoin in 12th position. Didn't see that at all. But Dara in 12th. Hopefully, brake pedals are fixed. Hopefully, whatever problems that might have been plaguing him earlier on this race are now fixed. He's down there in 12th. He has got the pace to come through the field and possibly pick up 3rd, 4th, 5th position, somewhere like that. But will he run out of time? Because he's on that fresh set of softs. He's also got fresh set of soft runners ahead of him. Yarum and Conti ahead of him as well. Don't think Dara's going to be gaining many positions, to be honest.
Well, we'll see, but certainly entertainment is guaranteed.
Yeah, entertainment is guaranteed. Sorry, I was caught mid-yawn there. Nicky leads the way. Simply Superman in 2nd, Cam there in 3rd, and potentially have got 6 laps to go if the safety car decides to come in this lap. But Nick Houston leading the way. Simply Superman in 2nd. What can the Irishman do? On the back of the Dutchman. Of course, the Dutchman and, in fact, Simply Superman, both of these guys, I believe, as I read out a little bit earlier on in the session, just reading through on the Belgian Grand Prix last season, in fact, none of them picked up a podium. I was going to say both of them picked up a podium, they didn't. Both of them out of the podium finishes in Belgium. Safety car, though, is coming in this lap. Simply Superman, by the way, picked up a 2nd in the sprint around here. But Niki's now the virtual safety car, the virtual barlander, he's now the virtual safety car. Simply Superman, though, surely on the back of him is going to try and get Nick Houston off this restart.
Well, let's see what this last few laps brings to us. As we have Conti getting a 5-second time penalty for collision with Olitex.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there between them both. Olitex and Conti, that's down in 7th and 8th position. Maybe a bit of a pinch point effect once again. The slow safety car restart. Nick Houston trying to wind it up from the front. Again, revving in high, 2nd gear. In towards the bus stop chicane, and now he says go. Now he puts on the battery as well to try and pull away from Simply Superman, but Simply Superman is right there and he tries to attack him in towards the bus stop chicane. Of course, you can't overtake until he gets to the safety car line, even though it is green flag racing. Nick Houston leads the way. Simply Superman in 2nd, and the softs come into play straight off the restart because Nick Houston pulls away 0.2 of a second across the line, and we start at lap 17. Nick Houston leads the way. Simply Superman in 2nd. Tam on the back of Cam. This is going to be an interesting one for us in the commentary box between these two. 3rd and 4th position. Black's in the background as well, getting the move done on Conti around the outside of the around the outside of the source, I should say. But Cam on the Cam under pressure from Tam. Real mouthful to say. And Tam is closing in on Cam. Is the Williams man going to be on the back of the Haas? He will be down into the comp, but he's not going to get the move done back from there. But Nick Houston leads away. Simply Superman in 2nd. Tam right on the back of Cam.
Yeah, it's also Derek's right on the back of Conti. Already made one place for taking Maze. Will he try to make a move going down into Malmedy? Yeah, bit of a WRC kind of moment here.
That was hard on the brakes from Dara. I thought he nearly forced Conti off wide there, to be honest. But Dara threw his into 10th, and that's just a set of softs coming into play. Because look at Nick Houston, he's checked out 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, but the question is, will those stars endure that rhythm until the end of the race?
They should do. They should do. I mean, 1.7 seconds, he's only going to keep gaining the time. Even if his tyres go off, I think he'll still win this race comfortably by around 3, 4, 5 seconds, somewhere in that mix. Simply Superman, though, will try and hunt him down. Tam on the back of Cam once again. This looks to be more the immediate battle. For 3rd and 4th position, the Williams on the back of the Haas, coming through the final couple of corners. And Cam, the Brit, is having to withhold the Division 3, the F3 champion from last season. Tam, he's on the back of the EKG man, but he's on the run down towards turn number 1. And he's not going to get the move done towards the source. Maybe up in towards the Lecom, potentially, but he won't have DRS this time around. He tried to set it up though.
Oh, car park in La Source, I think, or there's the lag on my. Like, oh.
Here comes Tam on the back of Camel, third and fourth position. Round the outside, down the Camel straight. Is he going to try and get him done on the brakes? Mediums against hards. Cam is hanging on grimly on the inside line. Tam around the outside, tries to put him in on the Williams on the curb slightly. Is now Cam on the inside line, tries to fight him side by side, and Tam is through and Cam is round. Both of them nearly getting caught up on contact. There was contact between them both, but to be honest, Tam pretty much had the corner and pretty much had the move done around the outside. Cam caught on the car, and that is just simply a racing incident between them both. They gave each other enough room, they just got caught in each other. Simple as that.
Yeah, so I could not see that incident because of lags again, where you like to see that. As Dara is catching Yarham quite quickly. Yarham is on 9-lap all hards. Should be an easy target for Dara.
Yeah, further up the field as well, both McLarens, Legend and Jamie, are now latching onto the back of Tam, and Tam is going to come under more pressure, you would imagine, down the straight. But yeah, Dara on the back of Yoram, 3.5 tenths per second. The gap is increasing slightly as Yoram pulls away from Dara. F2 driver, of course, Yoram in the past, and Dara, of course, F1 driver last season. Now, as a part of the FDR team, of course. Simply Superman, though, a second the gap behind Nick Houston. As I'm still on board with Dara, he's got a really good run out the final corner on the back of Yoram, down in towards turn number 1. I think he's just going to send this on the brakes, down in towards the source at turn number 1. Surely Yoram will give him the room. Dara's down the inside line, and that's what you like to see. Dara through, he's into 7th, and makes Yoram look like a very ordinary driver, I think, in terms of that move. And now Legend on the back of Tam for 3rd.
Yeah, and Simply Superman within DRS of Nick Houston.
He is indeed. Legend checking out down the straight just in behind. Tam holding on for 3rd down towards Lecom. And Legend there in 4th. Jamie there in 5th. But you're right in saying Simply Superman. Maybe I got my calculations wrong, but looking through this middle sector, well, Nick Houston already putting the pressure back on Simply Superman. 1.3 seconds. He gets him out to 1.7, 1.8 by the end of this lap. I think it's all over and done with.
Yeah, he just needs to keep on the same distance as we have in flag sector 2. I think it's come round again.
It's Maze. Maze round again.
Maze. Oh.
Oh, and Tam has gone for a spin coming through Puon as well. Tam has gone for a spin. I thought there was 2 cars inside of each other there, to be honest. That was just the camera angle that I had. Tam, though, in 10th, has spun through Puon. I think he's got caught in the inside curb, and he's just rotated 360, and he's got the car recovered on the side of the track. But Tam is round down in 10th position. He was looking really good until that point. Simply Superman, though, on the back of Nick Houston, back within 9/10 of a second in towards the bus stop chicane. And if Simply Superman can hold him, or he goes wide coming through the bus stop chicane, though, if he can hold him to that underneath a second gap, it's on for Simply Superman. But it's also on for the likes of Darren, Jamie in behind.
Yeah, as Simply Superman did a little bit of locked his brakes in bus stop, and lockups are much more dangerous to your tires than they were on previous games.
Yeah, Simply Superman this...
Jamie is now close to Legend. 2 McLarens will maybe fight for the podium between themselves.
Dara's on the back of Olatex in behind as well, so I think we're going to see 2 changes of position for the price of 1. Jamie to the inside line, holds back on Legend, but Dara does get the move done on Olatex. He's doing, he's into 5th. Going great guns, Dara, off this restart. I said how many positions he could gain. He's already gained 7 off this restart. Cam on the back of Maze as well, running down the Camel straight. He pulls the inside line, the Hassman, and he's through on the Mercedes. So Cam through on Maze, and he's through, and he's into 11th. Maze there down in 12th position. And again, Nick Houston applies pressure through the middle sector. 1.2 seconds the gap. Simply Superman in 2nd. Legend there in 3rd. Jamie in 4th. It's going to come down to the wire, Ivan, as we've got a yellow flag. And that is Tam round again coming through Bruxelles.
Yeah. And yeah, indeed, this will go down to the wire. As we'll potentially get battle for 3rd place, three-way battle for 3rd place, maybe even 4 cars battle for 3rd place. That's the Olitex is not that far away from Dara.
Yeah, Dara, Olitex being dragged along, I think, perhaps by the pariah-coloured cars in front. McLaren's, of course, 3rd and 4th. Simply Superman, though, again looks on at 5.5 tenths coming out the final corner. Again, loses 2 tenths per second, though. coming out of the bus stop chicane. This time around, though, he'll be within DRS range, and is now the Irishman going to hunt down the Dutchman. Has the Dutchman gone too early in terms of those tyres? On the run down towards Rouge and Radion once again, and Simply Superman, once it's done on the penultimate lap of the race, he absolutely closes in through a Rouge, up the top of the hill at Radion, and now within 2.5 tenths of a second, here comes the Irishman on the back of the Dutchman. The Dutchman's surely not going to pump any fight though, as Simply Superman breezes past him down the camel straight, and he's into the lead. Another yellow flag, and that's Tam retiring in the pit lane, but Simply Superman leads the way. Nick Houston in second. Has Simply Superman though gone too early? Because Nick Houston's ERS that he's got 4 times as much as Simply Superman ahead of him. As Conti's got the move done on Yaram, and they're fighting actually coming through Lake Holm, and Conti's through and he's into 7th.
Yeah, but maybe Nick Houston is just playing tactical here, knowing that DRS is quite strong around this track, especially on the Campbell Straight. And he's mighting ERS for the one last attack on final lap.
Yeah, 5.5 tenths. Simply Superman goes out wide, coming to the Fania chicane as well. And it looks on. Nick Houston, all he has to do is apply the pressure to the Irishman in front of him, and he's probably done enough. There's another yellow flag, and that's just a retiring part of Tam there coming out the pit lane. But this is on. Jamie and Legend are also looking very close to McLaren's 3rd and 4th position. This is coming right down to the wire here at Belgium as Nick Houston tries to apply pressure as Conti, I think, the spun coming through Campos. So Conti round through Campos, he relinquishes that 8th position that he was in. Jamie right on the back of Legend is going to be quite interesting towards the bus stop chicane as well. It's not going to get quite close enough. Final 7 kilometres of this track to go, and Simply Superman is under pressure from Nick Houston and behind. Can the Aston Martin hold on, Ivan?
Well, we'll see in a couple of meters, but I don't think it will.
Oh, look at the run through Rouge and Radion, top of the hill. He's got 33% of ERS to use up. He's going to absolutely sail on by, but to be fair, Simply Superman's drowning his battery, and Nick Houston now pulls to the outside line, down the Camel straight. The Mercedes around the outside of the Aston Martin, waltzes around the outside. Beautiful move by the Mercedes. The Aston Martin made to look like an absolute mug. Nick Houston through, and he's into the lead of the race. Is that the race-winning move? Simply Superman, though, has got a chance now to get his battery back up to temperature and try and challenge back.
Look at Darak on back of Jamie. Darak will potentially get the podium in the last lap.
Maybe on the inside of Bruxelles. He's going to be forced on the outside of Moment. Oh, Jackie X, he forces the inside line, in fact. Doesn't get the move done. I think Blanchimont could perhaps be the move there for Dara on the back of Jamie, but his tyres are wearing out. Simply Superman not done with, though, on the back of Nick Houston. Nick is still 5 tenths of a second clear over Simply Superman. Has he done enough? Simply Superman now has to try and waste his battery coming out of Stavolo, and then on the long run up towards Blanchimont, closing in once again. 5 tenths of a second, 4 tenths, 3 tenths, and now Nick Houston applies his battery, and he starts to pull away once again, the Dutchman, in towards the bus stop chicane. Darren and Jamie are going to have a fight side by side. I think they're going to go in towards Blanchimont, but on board with the leader, Nick Houston, around the final corner. Tactically, he's got to absolutely spot on tonight in the social race. Nick Houston wins in Belgium, Simply Superman in second, but look at Darren going around the outside of Jamie in towards the bus stop chicane. Gets chopped up at the bit, there, and Legend there in 3rd is going to come across the line. Jamie there in 4th, Dara there in 5th. Really good finale that. Olitex in 6th, Yoram gains in terms of positions out on track. Olitex there in 7th, he had a penalty of 5 seconds, I think. Cam there in 8th, Black's there in 9th, Mays across the line in 10th, and Conzi relinquishing his top 10 finish to finish down there in 11th. Oh, what a race in Belgium. Conzi in the end finishing 11th, the driver of the day. Awarded by the in-game fans as Yoram, the Red Bull man, comes out on top in terms of the driver of the day votes. But Nick Houston, Ivan, got that tactically spot on. He let Simply Superman go, penultimate lap of the race, forced the issue on the final lap, went around the outside through the column, and possibly one of the best moves I've seen on this game so far. Nick Houston takes the win in Belgium.
Yeah, really deserved win from the Dutch driver in the Mercedes. Well, where we hear that before? I'm wondering.
I'm wondering as well. He also picks up the fastest lap of the race as well. There was a little bit of flashing going on in the podium celebrations. Hopefully that does get fixed though as we go through the game cycle. But Nick Houston out on top takes the bragging rights here tonight in the Belgian social race. Simply Superman put on a brilliant performance in second, and for Belgium's Grand Prix to come only down to 0.2 of a second at the end, great work, and both of these guys are going to be really good to watch, I've got to say, on this game if they replicate that form. Legend there in the end in third, Jamie in fourth, really strong showing from the McLarens. Jamie, I think, will be especially very buoyed by that performance there in fourth, the F4 champion last season. Dara in fifth, maybe one of the best recovery drives I've seen, certainly on this game so far, finishing there in fifth. Yoram there in sixth, Olatex on debut in seventh. What could have it been if he didn't pick up that penalty of 6 seconds? Olatex there in the end in seventh. Cam there in 8th, Blacks there in 9th, Mays in 10th, Conti in 11th did finish, but these guys didn't. Tam, GMAC, Atlas Copo, Yona, Nipro, Daniel, Storm, Honey Badger and Noah all the time at various points in the race. But Nick Houston wins, Simply Superman second, Legend there in third, and that is the end of tonight's live stream, because we're not going to do any interviews.
I don't think people are already tired of the race itself. They won't have time for interviews.
Yeah, possibly so, possibly so. I mean, it is pre-season as well, still in TML, and I still need to get used to having to drag people from one Discord channel to the other. So that is going to be my homework that I'm going to be doing, certainly on OBS. Let me take you through, though, what we've got coming up in terms of the calendar this season for season number 8 of TML. And we begin, of course, in sponsorship with Neverlast Racing, and I'm sure we'll get the sponsorship up as we go through the season. We have got 12 rounds this season. We split into 2 halves of the season, 6 batches of races, basically. So we've got, in the first batch, first round of the championship, Bahrain, 25th to the 26th of August. And then round 2 is Hungary in Budapest on the 1st and 2nd of September. Canada for round 3 in Montreal for the 8th and 9th of September. Then, for the first sprint race of the season, I had to choose this one, unfortunately, so don't at me in the comment section. Baku, Azerbaijan, round 4 of the championship. It was either that or Belgium, and I thought, yeah, Azerbaijan... Oh, no, it was either that or Canada, and I thought Azerbaijan works in terms of possible overtaking and possible great racing for sprints. 15th and 16th of September, that's going to be on, and that's probably when I'll lose my job as head commentator. Belgium for round 5, 22nd and the 23rd of September, and then our first visit to Miami on the 29th and 30th of September. Then we've got the break week, and then we split into the second half of the season with Japan 13th and 14th of October, Monza for the second sprint race of the season, round 8 on the 20th and 21st of October, Silverstone for round 9 on the 27th and 28th of October, our home Grand Prix, of course. Singapore, round 10 of the championship, 3rd and 4th of November. Then it's Mexico, round 11 on the 10th and 11th of November. And then we finish off with our now traditional finale, not in Abu Dhabi, as it's got on the chat. It is, of course, Abu Dhabi. And we've got the 17th and 18th of November hooked in for that. And as you can tell, we're not racing on the Sundays this season. That means F1 and F2 are moving to the Thursday. And I believe F3 will also join that on the Thursday. F4 and F5 are going to be on the Friday. And sign-ups are still open, of course, for TML. So if you've been inspired by what has been happening on track, you can, of course, check in the description of this video. I believe is not the Discord link. I will put it in for the next stream, of course, when we do the next social race on League Racing TV. But Ivan, in terms of the action there, absolutely fantastic. We go, of course, to Belgium for round 5 of the championship. Looking through that calendar, though, what's the tracks to watch out for?
What track? Well, Baku Sprint will surely be one to watch out for. And Miami could be interesting to see how it works in game. And New Abu Dhabi, if we are, I think I heard well that we are racing in Abu Dhabi. Is
yeah.
it?
Go on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think.
Go on.
It's hard to choose the tracks, but yeah, it could be a really funny season.
Yeah, it will be. Abu Dhabi is final round of the season as well. So are we going to get a Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton sort of battle towards the end of the season? I hope not. I really hope not.
We are missing one piece. We need Michael Massey.
We need Michael Massey. Well, we haven't got an Australian unless Amazing Hour signs back up to TTML, and I know he sometimes tunes in for these live streams. So if Amazing Hour is there and does want to sign up, you can be our Michael Massey for the season for TTML going forward. But that rounds us off very nicely indeed. As I say, really hope you enjoyed the action. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Take that notification bell, of course, if you are brand new to the channel. You can also catch up on further action that happened on the League Racing TV channel tonight, and that was the TTML Civic Type R Cup, of course, with our friends at... I've totally forgot. But anyways, it's the TTML GT series that's going on, and that was round 5 and 6, and that was in Austria, which I'm going to be covering on PSGL on Monday, which should be very interesting indeed. Big thank you, of course, to my co-commentator, Mr. Ivan Tonchik, for joining me in the commentary box. Privilege as always, and hopefully not the last time we're going to be doing this either. And I will bid you all farewell. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time.